Welcome back to Making Video Your Business. Today I'm joined by my really good friend, James Truswell, who owns an incredible company doing upholstery and furnishings here in Grantham. James, thanks very much for taking some time to come and see me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me down.
We were both employed when we met.
Yep.
And now we both run businesses.
Sure.
And I wanted to just get a bit of background about you initially. So where have you found yourself in your career to date?
So I've spent pretty much my entire working life in the furniture industry. I started out on the factory shop floor. It was never a destination I had in mind. I just found myself in a job that I needed a job. Thought, actually, I'm not bad at this. Actually, I don't mind doing this. And I kind of stuck with it. I moved from there into product design development and worked for the department for a while. I was in there 15 years, ultimately ran the department, team of sort of 30 guys, learned a lot of management training, all those kinds of things. It's all really good. Got a little bit bored with that. Wanted to expand my wings, went to work abroad for a year, really good. And then life happens and things change. I came back to the UK and started working in the UK. And it was, but my hand was forced really. I hadn't planned to go to do anything by myself. It was a circumstance that put me in this position. You know, my last employer went to administration, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go do something for myself. I'd already started doing a little bit for an old colleague of mine, and helping her out with her business, and I thought, oh, you know, the opportunity's there. Let's get started. So I started out of a garage with my partner, my colleague. And you know, for the first year, it kind of bumped along. We kind of got it going, but it was like constantly thinking, if this isn't working, I could get myself a proper job. I still feel that sometimes think that today, you know, if this doesn't work out, a proper job. But I think that's a healthy view. You know, it's not to get too detached, and also to be able to look at it in a slightly objective way and not be blinded by this is just not working. But the other thing, equally, it makes you work a bit harder to make sure it does work. And so, yeah, over the last 7 years, it's been really good. COVID obviously hit businesses in different ways, and when it came. Our business thrived, you know, the interior industry in general, furniture industry in general.
Because people have had more of a focus on their homes, I guess.
Yeah, it was. People spent more time indoors. They weren't spending big ticket sort of holidays and those kind of things. You know, people had spare cash, and you know, people were at home a lot more, wanted and spending time to go, oh, well, let's do this, let's do that. So yeah, it really boosted us. I mean, we went into COVID with 2 people, and we came out of COVID, I think, with 6. And we've doubled that since as well. So it's been good for us. I think right place, right time for us, really. It's quite a tough market, to be quite honest with you. But with the kind of onset of really cheap mass-produced furniture, you have to find the right clients, people who understand the cost and the value of upholstered furniture and understand the value of good quality furniture too, you know. And lots of people don't. We don't deal with DFS customers. That's not our demographic at all. People we deal with are people who've got heirloom pieces or pieces they've had for 30 years or more and want it to last another 30 years or more, and that's the kind of client we typically get. We have kind of broadened our services over the periods of time. We do all furnishings now. We started with upholstery, but we do the whole remit of things now. We have a great team of network contacts within the industry we could work with as well. So,
how have you translated what is a really high visual impact business into your visuals as a business? Because I know that you've started to do video content, Instagram, you've started to really do that, and that's something that's pushed you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm not one for social media generally. I mean, I have it. It's a necessary evil in my view. But it's for a business particularly, you know, anything that is a design-led business or where we're dealing with aesthetics, you know, it's essential. With the customers we work, we're trying to get across convey the message about our business to them. I think is really, really important. Not least because you want them to feel comfortable, confident, and trust you, and that they're in safe hands. So they want to see evidence of your work. They want to see who you are, and conveying that to them in a visual, whether it's a still image over Insta or a short video, or whatever. I think it just takes those fears away from them. I mean, it's half the sale won for us. We couple that with a showroom. We just had it refitted and extended at the moment. But you know, the brief for the showroom was, I want the customer to come in and when they've walked in, know they're in the right place. They're going to get the right things, and that's half the sales job done. That's they've walked in, we've got them, and that's for us. So that and it's exactly the same sentiment with the video content.
Why do you think video content's become so vital for SME businesses? Why do you think it's become, I guess, a must-have? I mean, I know, because we're friends,
Mm.
that getting in front of cameras for you isn't something you like
No,
doing.
I know, and I think it takes a certain type of individual to be comfortable and happy to just go and jump in front of the camera confidently, easy like that. Yeah, it's, and I think that might also be true for most of the guys that work with me as well. I think that probably I would say it's abnormal to be so confident in front of the camera, but
Yeah.
I guess also it takes a bit of time. I mean, I've done public speaking, I've done public speaking here in big events, I've done it abroad and stuff like that. And it's, yeah, nerve-wracking, and, I'm genuinely a confident person,
Yeah, I would say that.
but standing up in front of a group of people, and it's more often people I know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like, "Oh, this is tearing me apart here," but, time you get I always enjoy it afterwards,
Yes.
but, that's the only thing that gets me forward in the first place. Um,
But you've pressed yourself into it.
yeah, yeah, and
Why? Why?
because it, I want to get out, tell people about us. I want to tell people about business. And that's going back to your question, about why is it vital for sort of businesses our size to be able to do that? Because that's where our audience is. That's the easiest way to reach our. The world's changed now, and people don't shop like they used to. I don't have our workshop's not in in a location, retail location, so we don't get the natural footfall you'd get on a high street. So I have to be able to bring those customers in somewhere. Now, if I'm going to go and have a sofa, or if my customer wants to go and get a sofa or pulse, the first thing I'm going to go and do is hit Google and find something. So let's go and have a look, see what I can get some inspiration. Lots of people come in, know exactly what they want, but lots of people want to be inspired, and so they're going to end up in the usual places: Instagrams, Pinterest, and some of the other social media platforms. So that's where they're going to end up, and that's where we try to present ourselves. We our following on Instagram is growing. It's not massive, but it grows, and we're sort of reaching some of the right people. So at least we're out there, and videos far more useful, I think, than still. And we've done a few kind of like the Instagram reels and stuff like that, and the guys work with me, like, one of them particularly, she's not there at the moment, but she's a bit more confident in front of the camera. She's done a few reels. We've had some great responses from that, and just
Yeah.
from a very basic kind of sort of reel. So I see the value in it there, and that's where our audience is, and that's why I think it's important, and it will be true for other sort of small, medium sort of sized businesses, that especially in anything that's kind of an aesthetic or a visual thing, that they do those kinds of things and find their audience.
I know that you are great in a public setting. You're great with a group of people, but you don't always back yourself when you go and speak in front of people or when you get in front of camera.
Mm.
How do you kind of manage that from a visual context? So, do you plan heavily? Do you script things? Like, because I know you forced yourself into doing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
How have you? Because a lot of people, the reason I'm asking and pressing you for it is because I know that lots of people who certainly come to us for training or come to us for
Right. Okay.
advice and support, their number one thing is, oh,
I lock up in
I
front of the
lock up in
camera.
front of camera. I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to do it. How have you kind of managed that, as a process, I guess?
Look, I mean, there are, I think, for me, I don't think there's necessarily a silver bullet here. I've, in the different circumstances I've done this, whether it's a team of 30 guys and I've got to go through with them, present a new initiative through the business, whatever it might be, or it's a hall full of people and we're presenting something we do as an organization. I think the pressures are different. Knowing your stuff helps, of course, because and I think, in the things we've done together through socially, sort of engagements, um, when I've had those kind of things, I've wanted to know it, so I'll script it, I'll write it, I'll read it, and those kinds of things, get it in my head. But when it comes to actually doing it, I rarely follow the script. I tend to wing it. I loosely follow a script, but I tend to wing it. I tend to just, so if it's coming from my head, I don't waffle too much, and get the points across, and try to not worry about what the camera's saying to me or looking at me, because I know I'll enjoy it at the end, and I've always done that. I've always enjoyed it at the end. Um, and I think that's the final sort of piece of the puzzle for me. Is say, you know you're going to enjoy this, so just get on with it,
Mm.
kind of thing. And it's just telling myself to just get on with it.
Do
So
you
it's,
watch yourself back?
nah, try not to.
Yeah. so there's two schools of thought, right? I watch myself back,
Sure.
because I love myself. No joke.
How many retakes you
No,
get to?
never.
Okay.
I don't care. Because I don't care.
Yeah,
Like I
sure,
don't care.
sure,
You know I
sure,
don't care.
sure,
Like
sure.
I'll say it. I'm not bothered, am I?
Yeah.
Like I'm the same outside of work as I
Yeah.
am now, as I am with you
And
in
it's, you're a
the pub.
confident chap, you know,
In the
and
pub.
I think that speaks volumes when you know you're quite comfortable with yourself. Yeah, not so you make yourself a clown, but you're quite comfortable to just be, yeah, this is me.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not bothered.
But some of us like to kind of like, yeah, this is me,
Yes.
and actually, no,
Yeah.
this is me. You know, it's that kind of thing.
This sort of stuff, even for me,
Mm,
I was, was hard initially, like
sure.
getting in front of people, 30 odd people before, when you're a new business person and, you'll have seen this and you get that sort of imposter syndrome, particularly the first time I ever went to the Grantham Business Club and I was asked to speak about video content about 5-6 years ago. It was terrifying because even though I knew what I was going to talk about,
Yeah.
I'd never done that to a big content, sort of bigger room. And even though I knew what I was saying was accurate, and I knew my subject matter, I didn't know what the response was going to be and whatever. And now I'll speak in front of 200-300 people and it
Sure.
doesn't
Yeah.
phase me at all. I think for me that's been a shift, but I know what it's like to be there, and I think you get that little bit of imposter syndrome sometimes in the early part. And when what you said earlier on in this podcast is that at some point if it all goes wrong you can go and get yourself
Proper
a
job.
proper job, right? But the reality is that after a while you realize that you have a really proper job and like a really serious job. And actually, I think the job of a self-employed person is one of the most, if not the most difficult thing you can do as a in your work life.
Sure. Yeah, yeah. I would say. I mean, I've had some pretty senior roles in previous companies, but I've always effectively been able to walk out the door and switch off.
Yeah.
And I really try to do that now as well. I've got a young family, you know, and I've got a very loving wife, and I will always try to leave work at work, but I run the business, so inevitably I'll get an email or I'll get a call that I've just got to deal with because it's so I think those pressures are hard, but equally, having worked in, I was a product development manager for 7 years, a team of 30 guys, but my field of responsibilities, my range of responsibilities was very narrow. Whereas working for yourself, you wear every hat. I'll scrub the toilets if I have to. I'll vacuum the floors because those things need in. I could go get a cleaner, sure, but those things, I'll make the tea.
Yeah.
All of those things, and I would never have done that in a previous job.
No.
I'm also the one paying the wages. I'm also the one
Yeah.
doing all the buying. I'm
Finding
also
the new
the one
business.
setting up new suppliers. I'm also
Yeah.
the one doing the sales. I'm also the one doing this, and this, doing the business systems and promoting things. It's me doing all of those things. So
It's
I've got
relentless, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way.
No.
I am able to separate work from family because I think it's important that there is that distinction, because otherwise you're right, you don't switch off, you're constantly engaged. So I try to do that as much as possible, but otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't change things. I enjoy what I do. Great people I work with. I meet some great people. I get to do some really great stuff, and I get to do some things that I would never dreamt to get involved with because we do custom stuff as well. So in 1 week we could be working on a brand new Range Rover.
You've done boats, haven't you?
We've done it all.
We've done
boats,
boats,
aerospace, automotive,
hotels,
yeah, we do the lot.
and these chairs.
Yes, yeah, these
Our
are
podcast chairs. These are customs.
these are
These are Manthorpe Furniture customs. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
but these are yours.
And that's it. We do custom stuff, so we get to do some weird and wonderful stuff.
I ask all, I guess, just as a final question, really, what their advice is, what their top tips are for getting started with visuals, and I'm hoping you've got three kind of good tips.
Yeah, know your audience. I think that's key. Know who you're after. I mean, it took us a while to really understand our demographic for our business, but over sort of a couple of years, we started to really hone that down. And once you kind of know who you're going after, I think that will help you focus your direction and focus how
Brilliant.
you might want to put your content together. Don't be afraid to do regular content, and I think that's something that's held us back. With that, let's not put too much out there, but as long as it's good, it's not too kind of repetitive and stuff. We advertise locally, sure, and we've been advertising with a couple of local presses for a number of years, and that repetition is finally people still don't know we exist.
Yeah, of course.
Local people don't
Yeah.
know we exist, so we get that all the time.
A third tip?
Be confident with what you're doing. I mean, we've been here 7 years and doing this, and we're still here doing it. We're clearly doing something right. The success of my business isn't all down to me. Success of my business is down to me and the people that I work with.
100%.
And I have some very good people there, and I can rely and say, look, you're better at this than I am. I want you to have this, and what's your thoughts and value your input in this, and all through the business we do that. Not least because I can't be good at everything. I'm not good at everything. So when they recognise good talent, let them get on with it.
Mate, thanks so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I love you, and I wish you huge success,
Cheers.
continued success with your business.